dear students, our today's lecture is devoted to the structure of educational psychology. Structure of educational or pedagogical psychology. Traditional. It consists of psychology of learning, psychology of education, and teacher psychology. If we speak about psychology of learning, psychology of educational activity as a unity of education and pedagogical activity. In terms of psychology of education, psychology of educational activity and its subject, psychology of pedagogical activity in the unity of teaching and educating influence and its subject. Teacher psychology studies psychology of educational and pedagogical cooperation and communication. So, let's consider research methods in educational psychology. They are common and special offers. In terms of common offers, those are experiment, observation, business product analysis, discussion, interview, survey results, testing, and expert assessment. Specific, the changes introduced relate to the possibility of using them to assess the current level of education and upbringing of the child, or those changes that occur in his or her psyche and behavior under the influence of training and upbringing. So, let's consider special offers. Psychological and pedagogical, also it is known as formative, experiment in the process of purposeful training and educational influence. Changes in the level of knowledge, abilities and skills, attitudes, values, as well in the level of mental and personal development of student are studied. Psychological and pedagogical testing achievement test predominate, measuring the effectiveness of programs and learning process, the degree of training and upbringing. So, let's revise the characteristics of subjects of the educational process itself. The subject assumes an object. The subject is social in the form, means, methods of its action. The social subject also has a concrete individual form of realization. The collective subject is represented in each individual and vice versa. Consciously regulated activity is always subjective, in which the individual is formed by himself. The subject of individual activity is a consciously acting person.
So, as we can see, educational psychology is a vital branch of psychology that focuses on understanding how people learn and how educational environments can be improved to support this process. And this diagram illustrates the main structural components of educational psychology, showing how each part contributes to a comprehensive understanding of learning and teaching. At the top of the structure, we see educational psychology, which integrates knowledge from various psychological fields to explain and enhance the learning process. It provides the theoretical foundation for effective education, helping teachers make evidence-based decisions in their classrooms. Now let's look at the first component, developmental psychology. This area examines how individuals grow and change intellectually, socially, and emotionally throughout their lives. It helps teachers understand age-related learning characteristics and cognitive development stages, such as those described by Piaget or Vygotsky. For example, understanding these stages allows educators to design lessons that match students' developmental levels. The next key area is learning theories. Educational psychology relies on different learning theories such as behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, and humanism. These theories explain how learning occurs, whether through reinforcement, information processing, active engagement, or self-reflection. Knowing these principles helps teachers choose the most effective instructional methods. The third branch is instructional psychology. This field focuses on how to design and deliver instruction in ways that improve learning outcomes. It deals with creating effective teaching materials, structuring lessons, and using technology or interactive approaches to engage students in the learning process. Another important component is motivation in education. Motivation plays a crucial role in determining how much effort students put into learning. Educational psychology studies intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, self-determination, and goal setting. Teachers can use this knowledge to inspire students, create positive classroom climate, and sustain interest in learning. Next, we have classroom management. This component explores strategies to create a productive learning environment, maintaining discipline, fostering cooperation, and managing group dynamics. Effective classroom management ensures that students feel safe, respected, and ready to learn. Finally, assessment and evaluation from the last part of this structure. This area focuses on measuring students' progress and evaluating educational programs. It includes psychological testing, formative and summative assessment, and the interruption of results to improve teaching and learning practices.
Training activities, let's define it. The activity of subjects to master generalized methods of learning activities and self-development in the process of solving educational tasks or problems specifically set by the teacher based on the external control and evaluation, which is turned into self-control and after to the self-assessment. So, let's consider main characteristic of educational activities by Ilyasov. It is specifically aimed at mastering the educational material and solving educational problems. It develops general methods of action and scientific concepts. General methods of action precede problem solving, unlike scientists in the trial and error type, when there is no preliminary general methods of action. This is not an activity at all. Characterized by a constant cognitive drive, it leads to a change in the subject itself. The change in the mental properties and behavior of the student depends on the result of his own action. It is also characterized by subjectivity, activity, and purposefulness, awareness, and social character in content, meaning, and in the form. Thank you very much for your attention.